Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
I'm going to need your help for this one.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to try and figure out what it is because I'm starting with Chip Chipperoo as the lyrics.
Oh my gosh,
So
the
just listen.
stakes are so high.
I know. Listen to the tone. Maybe you'll get it.
Okay.
Chip Chipperoo. Ba ba ba. Good times never seem so good.
So good. Woo!
That did not work out the way I wanted it to.
Why not?
Because you did not know what it was.
Okay, well,
Until
give
I
me
bop,
a
bop, bop.
minute.
It's hard to start with Chip Chipperoo.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Well, I think everyone should sing Chip Chipperoo instead of Sweet Caroline when they're drunk at a bar from now on.
Totally. Why do I feel like we've had this Sweet Caroline
Have we?
discussion on this song?
Look, this is
on this podcast.
our 101st episode. There's going to be repeats. I
Yes.
don't remember things from years ago now.
It's true.
Chip Chipperoo, everyone. Skylar and I are here.
Should we let the cat out of the bag?
Don't say cat in front of biscuit. What's the cat out of the bag?
What we found out about Chip Chipperoo.
Oh, yeah. We got a DM from Sue who shared that Chip Chipperoo was a type of cookie in like the 70s and the 80s. Is that right?
So she's in her mid-40s, and she said that when she was a kid, she got to play kitchen, okay, when she was like 6 or 7, and that one of the food items were these Chipperoo cookies.
Huh. Do you think that's like, maybe I saw those ads in the 80s as a child and it stuck
You're
with me and then I
kind of
just like kind of ripped them off?
I don't know. But so they're Chipperoos, but their ad says Chipperoo.
Oh, okay. So they have 3 chips and they spell it differently than I spell it. So we're fine. We're fine. We're not getting sued by anyone. Please don't sue us.
Please don't.
I swear to God, I invented that on my own, in my own brain.
You saw the invention on this podcast. You
Yeah.
were like,
Episode 3.
oh, is that? Oh my
Way
God.
back when.
I have been, I have withstood the Chipperoo for a long time.
You and everyone listening.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. Just had to share that amazing, delicious coincidence.
Hilarious. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sue. We are getting into season 7 of Bob's Burgers, which is crazy to me. Mind-blowing that we're on season 7. We still got quite a ways to go. But before we get into season 7, we have some new patrons to thank, and we have to burger pun their names.
Oh my God.
What?
You sound like a YouTuber who you don't like.
Smash that like and subscribe button.
There's this YouTuber that I won't say who they are, that Max can, like, I love their food videos so much, but Max just cannot handle it because every like word is like, ooh, crispy baby. Like, it's just like such a persona.
Yeah, narrow it down based on that information. But man, okay. Well, now I take back how I was delivering that. Our new patrons. First up, we have Andrea. Andrea, moving forward, you will be known as the Brandy Asparagus Burger.
Ooh.
Cooked with a little bit of brandy. It's a fancy burger.
Oh, you could like deglaze the pan with some brandy. You know what I think of asparagus? Like, I want hollandaise sauce drizzled all over that.
Sure. Speaking of sauce, then you're going to love our next pun and our
Okay.
next patron, Elizabeth Beaulieu. Your burger pun name is the Cheese Whizabeth Dough Roux Burger. It's a Cheese Whiz Roux burger on a fancy dough.
Oh my gosh. It sounds like grown up Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, I feel like it's like one of
Grown-up
those
cheese and crackers.
I feel like it's one of those challenges where you go to like 7-Eleven and have to make a fancy meal based on what you can get there.
I think you just like pitched and sold a show that's on the Food Network
I'm
called
sure
Seven
convenience. It can be like a convenience store, like inconvenience cooking, inconvenient cooking.
I love it.
So thank you so much to the two of you, Andrea and Elizabeth. We are thrilled to have you join us on Patreon. We're so excited to have you in our Discord community. If you'd like to have your name Burger Pun on the show, go over to Patreon, patreon.com/BobsCredits. Sign up for the correct tier.
Woohoo. All right. I want more. Do you have burger puns for me today?
We're going to play a little, well, they're not burger puns.
Okay.
We are going to play a Bob's pun or Max pun, but I decided to do this week pest control truck puns.
Okay, fun.
Your first pun is sex, flies, and videotape.
Why do I feel like I've heard that, but I don't think it's exterminate or heavy enough, so I think it's you. You.
Yes. Your next pun is mice Sharona.
What is that?
Mice Sharona.
You.
Bob. Your next pun is Mama said there'd be sprays like this.
Please, God, let it be you.
It's Bob. I wish that was
didn't.
me.
I didn't say it was you.
Oh.
That wasn't officially my
well,
cast.
That's not fair. I'm going to say you
Life's not
thought
fair,
it was
kid.
me.
All right, whatever.
Your final pun is the Lice Girls.
Trying to trick me again. As y'all know, we have Spice Girls dance parties at toothbrushing time in this house. Max.
Yes.
Tried to trick me.
Nice showing going into...
Thank you.
It was a little difficult.
I think it's time for Skylar's Sides, the fun facts before the fun facts.
Dish it, girl.
All right, Max Miller. This is going to take a visual aid, so I have sent you an email if you want to pop into your inbox.
Oh, this is fun for me. Oh, interactive. Okay.
And it's interactive for y'all too. If you go on our Instagram right now, there is a visual aid for this fun fact.
Okay.
So, Halloween's on my mind, and I came across the best little tidbit that I have been searching for a long time. So if you are a regular customer over on our Patreon, you know that we have ranked every single Bob's Burgers Halloween costume. However, there were a few that we did not rank because Max and I just could not figure out what they were. These costumes are from season 11's Halloween episode, Heartbreak Hotel-oween. Now, Max, do you remember us not being able to tell which each costume was?
Yeah, because they flashed so quickly and we couldn't figure some of them out.
Yeah, so if you remember in the episode, it's a flashback because this house gypped Louise getting candy. So it's 2 years flashback. Mm-hmm. So we get 6 costumes that aren't like in a clear episode. All right, are you ready to know exactly what these costumes are?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've got my images pulled up here. I hope everyone's looking on our Instagram right now.
So let's start with the ones that we do know. Do you know any there, Max?
Yeah, Cat Stevens. Gina's Cat Stevens.
Yep.
I think Tina's a Ghostbuster.
Nope.
No?
All right. Okay. No more guesses. I'm just going to read them out.
Okay.
So Louise in the 2 years ago flashback is Beetlejuice.
Oh, I see. Fresh squeeze, and there's a beetle on the OJ.
I thought it was
carton.
a cockroach, so it just really confused me and grossed me out at the same time.
Yeah, that actually is great because in the movie Beetlejuice, when he's trying to get Winona Ryder's character to say his name, he shows like a beetle and OJ juice being poured.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that. All right, and then we move on to Gene. Any guesses there?
He's got a blonde wig, some glasses, like a red hood around his little red riding hood of some sort. He's got amazing platform purple shoes on, heels.
I mean, I would say A Star is Born.
Lady Gaga?
Gene is Lady Goo Goo Gaga.
Oh, I see.
He has a pacifier around his neck.
And I think he's wearing a diaper, if I can see correctly.
If Gene has an opportunity to wear a diaper, like, he's going to take it.
Yeah, okay. I love Lady Goo Goo Gaga.
And then you were very, very close with Tina.
Wait, hang on. She's got a toaster. Toastbuster.
Ding, 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 ding.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, let's move on to the 1 year ago flashback.
I know at least, like I said, what Jean is.
Okay, so do you know what Louise is?
Louise is, I only know because now I've seen the close-up that we have.
Okay, so...
And it says it on there.
Go for it.
Blade Bunner. So she's in Jean's burger costume and has taped a bunch of knives, hopefully not real knives.
Of course they're real.
Okay, to her to the bun.
Do you remember her Edward Scissorhands?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Costume? Like, her costumes are very dangerous. All right, and then we have Cat Stevens, which is very obvious. And then we have Tina, and honestly, this is my favorite. Now, one of our Patreon members guessed what Tina was.
Okay.
And I can't remember if they were right or not.
She's got a bunch of door handles, and she's wearing like a skirt and a blue shirt.
Do you want a hint, or do you want me to tell you?
I want a hint.
John Hughes.
Oh, 16 handles. That's great.
There you go.
So she's got 16. Okay.
And thank you to the article who listed these all out for me. I did not figure these out my own.
That's great.
But I feel so much better knowing these 6 costumes.
Me too.
On Patreon, we're going to have to put them back
into the rankings.
Yeah, that's what we'll do this year.
We ranked costumes and we ranked Halloween episodes in 2 different episodes. And now we'll have to do a new ranking, I think, by tossing these costumes in there.
I agree.
Let's get into the episode. Let's get into season 7. Let's kick it off. Skylar, can we have the title and synopsis for season 7, episode 1?
The title is Flu-ouise. In the season premiere, Louise is thrilled when she gets the flu because it means she can miss school. But after Linda drops Coochie Kopi in the toilet and the family melts it in the oven trying to fix him, Louise has a fever dream that takes her on a grand quest. Meanwhile, the family tries to fix their terrible, terrible Coochie Kopi mistake.
This episode came out on September 25th, 2016. It was written by Nora Smith and directed by Tyree Dillahay. Tell me, Skylar, hit me with some of your initial thoughts. We just watched it yesterday.
We've been having a conversation in this house because I think this is a fan favorite episode, but it's not one of our favorite episodes. But we watched it again yesterday, and I have to say why it's not one of my favorites is because I always remember it as just as Louise's quest, but there's actually not that much screen time dedicated to it. And just because it's like not my thing doesn't mean it's not other people's thing, but the episode around it is so much better than I remembered it. And the family working together to help Louise, the one of our 3 childs is sick dynamic in the house is just so hilarious. Louise, that first scene where she has this little red nose and she sounds so sick and she's so happy is just like so adorable. So that being said, this has moved up in my rank significantly since the last time I watched it.
Yeah, I'm with you as far as for all the reasons you said. I think what I don't like about it is I don't like the fantasy stuff on Bob's. I really like when it's in their actual world. Except for like, say for here or there, like an occasional, like little, but like when a full storyline is in like a world where it's not really happening, it's a dream world.
Yeah.
You know? It's just not as fun for me.
Yeah.
I can see why people would love this episode so much, but it's just not my favorite.
It's not my thing. And what this reminds me of, actually, let me fast forward a million seasons. I hate the episode where it was a season premiere too, I believe. So maybe they do fantasies as season premieres. But when Bob gets like stuck in his car and it's like this weird, he's like tiny and the car is huge. I just didn't like it. I was so excited for the season premiere and I was like, ugh. So it's not my thing either. But it reminded me of, you'll know who said this, on The Sopranos, I think the creator. On The Sopranos, they did all these dream sequences, and some of the fans hated it so much. And the creator was just like, the more you hate it, the more I'm going to do it because I like it.
Yeah, David Chase, he like doubled down and went so heavy on the dream stuff in later seasons. I think there's like one where like it's like 4 episodes. That's probably a little
it feels like the whole
exaggerated,
episode.
but yeah, where Tony is in a dream pretty much.
I guess I just wanted to share that little anecdote because it's like, while it's not my favorite, I can see how it's other people's favorites, and if the creators like doing it, like, all the more power to them. It's their show and we're obsessed with their show.
Totally. And again, so many people love it. So who are we to say?
And I will say something that made the dream sequence so much better for me. I really found it hysterical that Linda, Bob, Tina, and Jean were the voices of all her toy characters. It was really funny.
I agree. And that kind of points me to a fun fact I have. Let's talk about those toys. So these toys are mostly creatures that are all based on Japanese folklore. Now, I'm going to mispronounce a lot of stuff here. I apologize in advance.
You'll do your best.
I'll do my best. It's Japanese folklore. It's called yokai.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 4 creatures that all of her family members inhabit in her dream. And
cool.
The toys that she has. Mizuki or Mizuchi. It's a Japanese dragon or a serpent-like creature. That's who Jean voices.
Love it.
Bakaneko is a monster cat or a ghost cat. That's who Bob voices. Dodo Mekai, a many-eyed demon. That's who Tina voices. And Akuro Kamoi, or Moi, again, doing the best I can here, gigantic octopus who Linda does the voices of.
Linda is by far the most hilarious. See, I love learning stuff like that. And
Me too. And I think someone on the team is clearly a fan of Japanese folklore and the animation, because all these characters ended up in Louise's bedroom from the very first season.
Yes. I would
so
love
I'm
that
curious.
backstory.
Yeah, I'd love to know how that came to be and how like Kuchikopi became like this main toy. We haven't talked about a script cover for a while now.
Ooh, fun.
For those of you who don't know, Tony Gennaro draws a script cover just for the cast and crew for every episode. And on this one, and I'll include that in our little like roundup with the images we've already told you to go look at on Instagram, Louise's toys are all drawn to have characteristics that represent the Belchers. So you get all these characters, except the one that Jean voices has Jean's hair. The one that Bob voices has a mustache. The one that Tina voices has her hair and her barrette. And then the one that Linda's voices has her giant glasses.
It really brings the episode to life.
Yeah, I love this artwork, and I hope you're all looking at it. And if you're not looking at it this moment, because you might be driving, something like that's probably not a good time to look at it.
Yeah,
look at it when you have a safe time to look at it.
Seeing every family member as the toy characters made their distinct personalities stand out so much more, and in turn made me love each of them and their distinct personality so much more. Yeah,
it's definitely helpful. I'm a little sad that Kuchikopi doesn't have a character we recognize, but I get that Kuchikopi's like special and is a standalone. Did you have any
toys that you were very attached to as a kid?
Oh, sure. I had plenty. It was very 80s, My Pet Monster.
Oh.
I love that thing. I would carry it around everywhere.
That's adorable.
I think they even made a movie that I used to love, and it was an awful movie, but a kid's movie, but I used to watch it nonstop. So My Pet Monster was a big one. Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I had all of those toys.
Yeah.
Those are probably my 2 favorites.
Okay. Cool. I learned so much about you on this podcast.
Yeah. Now I want a My Pet Monster.
I feel like if Louise was born in the 80s, she would have a My Pet Monster. I don't even know what it is, but...
Yeah, I think kids will love... I'm surprised there hasn't... Maybe there has been a kind of revival of it, because it was fantastic. It had these little, like, chains, like handcuff chains around its arms that it can break. The chains broke.
I mean, come on.
It's great.
What more do you need?
Just great. Anything you want to say about this episode? Should I continue with some fun facts?
Hit me with another fun fact. I think I want to talk about Teddy. I can't remember what I wrote in my notes.
Let's talk about Teddy, and I could start it with a fun fact.
Let's do it.
So Teddy comes in to save the day, or attempt to save the day, as he always does.
Yes.
We saw him in the last episode leaving his therapist's office in the middle of therapy to go save the day. Well, now he's coming over with a heat gun. What's it called?
A PCP pipe fixer.
Yeah.
That's probably the official term.
And he melts Coochie Kopi, gives Coochie Kopi boobs. He says they're hands or their arms, but they're very clearly boobs.
That was such a funny line from Louise. She's like, why does Coochie Kopi have boobs? I mean, I knew this day was going to come.
So Bob and Teddy eventually go to this like toy store.
Yeah.
Called About a Toy.
Love it.
Classic. By the way, I love this so much this time, watching this time around. Teddy and Bob going to this toy store and having to like listen to these guys tell the full story and then eventually enjoying the story so much.
Yes.
Like coming home from
You mean the
store.
guy reads him the adventures of Coochie Kopi or whatever the book is.
And all the voices. He does something like this almost. That voice.
Which Max annoys me with at home.
Yes, we love doing this voice. Hire me for all your voice actor needs. That's like the easiest voice to do. While they're in About a Toy, a character comes up to the window and tries to get in to get a specific toy. That character has the name Young Lady.
Okay.
But it has a celebrity voice. Any guesses who that was?
Caitlin Olsen?
No, not Caitlin Olsen, who has done a voice before, as Helen.
Love Helen.
This was, especially in 2016.
This was big.
Big comic actor.
Someone from Bridesmaids.
No.
No, Bridesmaids was probably even earlier than that.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bridesmaids was like
2012?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's happening?
Amy Schumer does the voice
for
that character.
Way.
Which it's crazy because I read that it got cut from like the iTunes version. So if you watch the iTunes version of this episode, it's cut for some reason. And
is it a rights issue?
Well, I did a little bit more digging. So I was curious because Amy Schumer in 2016 was like the biggest thing.
It was just like a phenomenon. And then here's my theory. Amy Schumer became friends with Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Taylor Swift just got too big in the media that it became really annoying? And even she herself said, like, the public is annoyed with me. I need to take a step back. I feel like Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence became friends. And then, like, the media was just so obsessed with about it. And it was everywhere. And I just think it was too much. And then they just got so quiet after that friendship.
Yeah, both of them, I'd say. Both
I know.
Of their careers kind of like,
What's the real story there? There's something going on.
Yeah, who knows? But back in 2016, this is the longest episode of Bob's Burgers, singular episode of Bob's Burgers, at 22 minutes and 2 seconds.
Still so tight.
Yeah. So the reason the internet guesses that this was the longest episode is because the network wanted to make sure that cameo was included because it was Amy Schumer.
Yeah, of course.
But they wanted to cut it because the episode was too long and you didn't really need that like little extra character coming to the store.
It didn't affect the plot. Oh, so the whole toy store, the reading and stuff is still there. It's just Amy Schumer.
Yeah, and I didn't watch the iTunes version, but if you go watch it on iTunes, let us know if that little clip is cut from it.
That's so
no
interesting.
Amy Schumer cameo, but yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Teddy.
Oh, yes.
When Teddy calls Bob and says, "Hi, it's Teddy from the restaurant." Just like he did in The Haunting, where he goes, "Bob," or whatever. "It's Teddy from Bob's Burgers," or whatever.
It's so funny that, first of all, that's not a popular name. I mean, that's not a common name, Teddy.
They live in this like tiny beach town.
Yeah,
he comes there every day.
He also has the most recognizable voice on the planet.
He also does like such huge heavy lifting for this family.
Yeah,
like
it's so
he
funny.
lets them borrow his truck. They go to his client's beach house. Like, this isn't just a regular customer.
It's such a great running gag. So let's go back to Coochie Kopi for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
People love Coochie Kopi, including, if you were on our Instagram a couple weeks ago, Wendy Molyneux, her daughter loves Coochie. She says is Coochie Kopi's biggest fan, figured out that if you turn a Frankenstein cookie cutter upside down, you can make Coochie Kopi cookies out of that. And it's on our Instagram. It's on Wendy Molyneux's Twitter. Go look if you haven't seen it yet. But I think that's just delightful.
The information I did not know that I needed.
I love that Wendy Molyneux and her sister Lizzie are responsible for some of the best episodes of Bob's. These amazing characters. They created The Great North, which also has amazing characters, has many seasons now, and their daughter's favorite character is Coochie Kopi.
I think that's so adorable.
So let's talk a little bit more, as I said, about Coochie Kopi. This is the second episode where a character hallucinates that Coochie Kopi is alive.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what the first episode was?
I feel like I do.
Do you want a hint?
Sure.
It's all the way in the first season.
Oh, it's, is it Crawl Space?
Yeah, wow. Good job.
The shit in this head.
The second episode ever.
Yep.
We get Coochie Kopi coming alive.
Yeah, so you're right. This ode to Japanese anime culture, or just culture in general, has been there from the get-go.
Absolutely. It's very cool, and I'm very curious where that came from.
Maybe someone on the crew's daughter or child was into it. I don't know. It's just really cool.
The company that makes the Coochie Kopi nightlight that we see in this episode is, again, I'm going to destroy this pronunciation, Nora Toisu, which translates into English as Nora's Toys.
Oh.
The writer of this episode, as I said, Nora Smith.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Those are all the fun facts I have for you. So unless you have more you want to talk about in this episode, we can kind of get into the end credits here.
There's just one little thing I want to talk about. There is some singing, which is also, I think, becoming a premiere thing.
Yeah. I feel like it's been kind of like here and there we'll get a song. It's becoming more regular, especially after that season finale with Bad Stuff Happens in the Bathroom. And
yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. At the very beginning of the episode, there's like a 10-second, 20-second little song. And I was like, wow, this back and forth between Louise singing and the family singing about, I think they're singing about the how was it just yesterday that we watched this and I already forget like when this song was?
It's social media, I'm telling you.
It's
we get
just
so
rotting
much stuff
our brains.
thrown into our brains on a regular basis, nonstop. You only have so much space in there.
But I believe Louise is singing about how sad she is, and the family are singing about how upset they are that they hurt her toy. Just the style of the song and the structure, I was like, oh, this reminds me so much of Bad Stuff Happens in the Bathroom.
Yeah, it seems like they were kind of like running on that high and loved that song and
it's just
want to do more of it.
It's just nice because, you know, the audience was gone. There wasn't episodes for a while, and then you kind of wink at that amazing finale when you come back with a new season. All right, let's go.
Okay, so the last moment before we get into the end credits is the family is all in Louise's bedroom after she's woken up, and she is in a forgiving mood, and she is forgiving everyone. She is forgiving Teddy.
Her quest taught her something.
And then we'll get into the end credits from there.
Come on, give me something else to forgive. Gene, Gina, go!
Okay,
Oh, Gene, that is unforgivable.
It wasn't Gene.
Wow, Tina? I'm impressed.
All right, Bob, give her the medicine.
Oh, grab the medicine. I'm dreaming of a world where you forgive your family.
Okay, Skylar, tell us what happened there.
All
As we get
right.
into the end credits, what's going on? Where are we?
I'm so sorry. I have to say the whole family hold down medicine situation is hysterical in this episode.
So good.
All right. So classic end credit kitchen sequences. Immediately, Louise jumps around and starts dancing to this song. What do we hear?
We have this new song that we haven't heard before, and it's made for the end credits. It sounds like John Roberts singing. I'm assuming it's John Roberts.
Oh, totally. I also think I hear Tina at the end of the song. but we'll take a listen.
Oh, yeah. They probably get some of the characters in there. We'll have to listen to it more. I'll read you the lyrics later. The burger's already in the window, so Louise can be dancing all she wants to, so that's good. And
This is giving me Boys for Now concert, pure childhood joy dancing.
Yeah, she's got her arm. What's that move? What's this move called where you're like swinging your arms?
I know what it's called.
Tell me.
It is called the Home Alone in the shower with a blow-up clown saying, I must be talking about.
Yeah. Okay, that's definitely the official term for it. There's something, but yeah, where you're swinging your arms just kind of like up and down.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what Kevin McAllister does when he's holding his ropes and he's dancing in Home Alone 2. But she's got her hands like flat out too.
Okay. It's
Let's see what happens.
You see me like a girl that would choose good coochie cookie over bad coochie cookie. That flew bug took you on a trip, a crazy toy-filled ride.
Here are the lyrics of this song because it
Okay.
matters to what we just saw.
great.
I'm dreaming of a world where you forgive your family. You seem like a girl that would choose good coochie cookie over bad coochie copie.
And during those lyrics, like a full, huge, dream-sized good coochie copy jumps on the left side of the screen into the screen, and then bad melted boob coochie copy jumps in on the other side of Louise. But I think his arms are back.
He has
boobs.
arms and not boobs.
Yes.
Yeah, his arms, he's got to use his arms to dance, so
Yes.
they're not boobs right now. Yeah, and then we get more stuff going on through this line. That flu bug took you on a trip, a crazy tough ride. And while we're hearing that, what else happens?
All the toys from her quest, the life-size versions, come at the back of the restaurant through the service window.
Through the service window, as Linda makes her appearance, they're dancing behind her. This seems to be all in Louise's head.
I'm going to say it's like a fever dream.
It's a continuation. She got more medicine, went back to sleep. And now they're all in the restaurant dancing
Yes,
together.
because neither Bob nor Tina or Linda
And eventually Jean.
and eventually Jean are paying attention. No one's bopping, no one's dancing.
Yeah.
So I guess technically Louise deserves credit for writing this song.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
The sickness made you better, and I'm glad you didn't die. Flu-ouise.
What happened towards the end there?
Oh, you tell us,
Okay.
because I want to hear the lyrics. It
Okay.
made me giggle.
So but the sickness made you better, and I'm glad you didn't die. And then it's
cracks me up.
Flu-ouise is the chorus.
Oh, fun.
We get some more appearances of all the characters in the window.
And I have to say, I really appreciate it looking at it close up, which we weren't doing yesterday, because like the octopus really like looks like it's diving underwater, and everyone seems so in character. Like it's so whimsical. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and eventually Louise is like waving her hands in the air, and both Coochie Copies kind of do that too.
It's really cute. Now tell me kind of like what genre this music is.
It seems very like fantasy movie-esque almost. Like maybe
Really?
like for some reason I get like Never-Ending Story theme vibes.
Okay, I see that.
Like you had like this 80s kind of like
Yes, that's what I
pop
get.
group make like a fantasy song for a movie.
Oh,
That's what it feels like to
you
me.
just did it.
Yeah.
Like synth pop? Is that what it's called?
Kind of, yeah, sure.
It feels like if Breakfast Club was like a fantasy and someone wrote a song for it or something. You
think
totally nailed
Never-Ending
it.
Story is what pops in my head the most.
Well, that makes sense because it's like this quest.
Never-Ending Story. Oh. Just be like the kids on Stranger Things. So those are the end credits. Highlights, lowlights.
Huge points for an original song written for the end credits.
I agree. I love when they do that.
Very specific style. Oh, can you rewind it? Because I'm pretty sure I did hear Dan Mintz at the end. Right there.
Yeah, I heard Dan Mintz in there.
That was really tough listening then, but I noticed it last night when I wasn't like paying attention. I was like, oh, it's Tina's voice.
Yeah, I love that.
Some harmony.
The song is great.
It's so good. So that gives it huge points because it's one of those that just, there's not really storytelling going on. It doesn't add to the plot. It's just kind of a continuation of the episode, which that isn't my highest category for these credits, but the song really makes it.
Another highlight is that anytime Louise just lets loose and dances, it is the most adorable thing.
So true.
She has so many moves. So many different moves we've seen now in all these different like dance sequences. Always something a little different.
I can't remember, but Purple Rain Union doesn't, when she gets on that stage, aren't her moves just like, they're so 9-year-old and it's just like, get it.
Yeah, it's always so 9-year-old, which is what I love about it. Any lowlights you have here?
I would consider what I just said, like a little bit ago, my quote-unquote low light.
Which?
Just that it doesn't add anything to the episode. It's just kind of a continuation. Nothing really shocked me, like surprised me.
Sure.
I do love good, coochie copy, and bad.
Yeah.
That's great.
Them both there and dancing and them both being regulars. And obviously they, spoiler alert for the movie if you haven't seen it, but at this point, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this episode
Both of
really
them,
lays
yeah.
the path for that to happen in the movie.
Yeah, they make an appearance in that. And I guess we didn't officially mention that at the very end of these end credits, Gene just does his normal walk by in his burger costume.
It's like very crowded.
It becomes very crowded, so it's very clear that this is in her head.
Yes.
And I'm going to bring back something we haven't done for a while and say, are these end credits better than the episode itself?
Oh, okay. You want to go first?
I am going to say yes for the fantasy portion of the episode.
But that's not the question.
No, I think they're a nice compliment to the episode.
You just changed your mind?
Well, you said that's the question. If I'm including the entire episode,
Yeah.
which I like all the non-dream sequence stuff, then I will say it's not better than the episode. And it's a
Okay.
nice little cherry on top. But if I'm
Yes.
comparing it just to this dream sequence, I prefer this dream sequence in the kitchen with this song, with the dancing.
With the dancing.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have to mention, while we're talking about how good the episode is, the air horn. Louise has no sympathy for her family. And she being sick is just like the best thing ever. It reminds me of when I used to get grounded and my mom was like, go to your room. And what it meant is I got a Stouffer's in bed for dinner. I was like, being grounded is like the best.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave my room.
Yeah. You couldn't ground me in my room either because I had like video games in there and a TV.
Your
and
mom
like,
would so ground you and not take your video games away.
Yeah. Should we score them?
Yeah.
We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's Want to go first or should I go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm going to give them an 8. That being said, if there was not an original song and the song wasn't good, that would not be the case.
Okay. I'm going to give them a 7.5 H's. Same reason. Like this original song is awesome. I love the song so much. I love the lyrics. I think they're hilarious. I love Louise dancing and I love these little fantasy toys dancing around with her. Mm-hmm. It's just not perfect. It's not,
It's
I
not
miss
one
the family getting to do stuff, that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's not one where, weeks from now and I go, what are the best end credits? Like it's not one that you would just pop in your head.
Yeah. And watching back to back a season finale and the season premiere, this might be a different experience if you had to wait like 6-7 months in between seasons.
Yeah.
But coming off Glued, Where's My Bob end credits and then coming into this, it's just hard to you're not going to top those end credits right off the bat. I don't think it's hard to. Those are so good.
Agreed. Oh, they're so good. They gave me chills. I think I cried.
Oh, numerous times in that episode.
Maybe because I was so hungry like I am now.
It's lunchtime as always. Those are the end credits to Flu-ouise. Thank you everyone for listening. If you haven't gotten our Instagram yet, Bob's Credits. on TikTok, Bob's Credits, on Twitter, Bob's Credits.
Y'all, we are TikToking it up with the Halloween fun facts over there.
Yeah, go follow us. What else? What else do we promote?
Check out our Halloween stuff on our shop.
Yep, bobscredits.com/shop. There's a whole Halloween section up there right now. Have at it. It's limited time only for the season, and then it'll go away.
Get your witchy woman on.
Yep. Anything else you want to say to everyone before we get out of here?
No, I'm just so... Oh, I have a thing. Stay coochie copy.
There you go.